Hi, this is an introduction video to NationBuilder and a tutorial on how to get the most out of using your NationBuilder account. We're going to go through three basic sections of the NationBuilder control panel. We'll go through the website first, then the people database, then we'll go through communication and how to send out message blasts to a group of recipients. So first of all, NationBuilder is a CRM, a community relationship management system, as well as a CMS, which is a content management system for your website. So if you click on website, you'll be able to see a list of websites if you've got more than one, and you can select from your menu here the website you would like to edit. Then you'll see a list of pages that are on your website. Each page in NationBuilder has a page type. So over here in this column, you'll see page type, and it will show you a basic page type is basic HTML, but NationBuilder has a bunch of variations of page type which have functionality built into them, like a feedback page, a donation page, event registrations, and those are forms and registrations settings that are built into the functionality of the page. And when people take any action on a page on your website, they will be put into the people database. So it's that integration between the website and the database that's very useful in NationBuilder. So to find a web page, over here on the right, you can do a search and find names, or if you know the name of the page you're looking for. So say we were looking for a subscribe page or a sign up page. Let me see if there's a sign up. Oh, there we go. There's rules, events. All right, we'll create a sign up page in a minute. Also, to keep your website looking neat and tidy, pages can act like folders where you can put multiple pages within a page. So over here, the events page, a little number next to a page will say how many sub pages there are, like pages within that page. And so in that way, you can create like a hierarchy and some structure to your website. So the events page over here is a calendar, and this 2 means there are 2 sub pages. And if I click on that, it will show me the events and sub pages that sit underneath the calendar. So let me just create a couple of different page types. The first I'll create is a sign up page. So if over here on this blue button, if I click new page, it will ask me for the name of the page, and I'll put up sign up. It creates a slug, which is the URL address for that page. Then status, you can choose unlisted or published. There's a few others, but we won't go through those. And then here is where you have NationBuilder's main function pages with functionality. So sign up page will allow people to register. Our volunteer sign up page asks a bit more information about volunteering. Donation pages can take money, payments. Petitions can be really useful for advocacy or causes. There's also a bunch of extra page types. If you click this little button here, show all page types, you can see a whole list of other page types that are useful. One of the most commonly requested ones is a redirect. So if you ever need a URL to redirect people to another page or a file, you can use that page type to create a forwarding link. So we'll go with the sign up page type, and then go create page. Now, each page type will have a series of settings that you can work through. So you can enable and turn off things like asking for addresses and volunteers. There will always be a page contents. On some pages that's called intro, on other pages it's called contents, but you can modify and update and insert your contents here. Changing this is very much like editing in Word, and it's always best to paste in plain text and then do your formatting here. If you need to insert an image or a hyperlink, you use these buttons there. Also, it's very important to consider what you might tag people who sign up for, because when they get dropped into the database, you want to be able to find them later. So we might name it by the website and then the sign up. So I'll go click Gravity sign up and then save settings. Other things to consider is auto responses. So usually the default in NationBuilder is to send everyone an auto response. You might want to turn that on or off. Always check what it is you're saying, what message you're sending them. For a sign up page, it might ask them to verify or set up their password. So if I don't want them to do that, I'll delete that here. I'll just delete all of this and just have thank you for signing up. You can change who that email is coming from with a drop down here. And other options to look at is under settings, you usually get your page settings, and there's usually a pretty important SEO button, which is search engine optimization, where you can put in some text for Google and other search engines to find your page. Or another useful one is social media. You can upload a thumbnail for your page. This thumbnail, when I upload it, is what will show if people share this link on social media, like on Facebook or Instagram. It will also show up usually as the thumbnail for this page on the website in various places. The event page type, so if I was to add a event to this calendar, first I'd go to the calendar page, and then underneath that I'll go new event. And let me put one in for, say, members forum 2024. Create page. And now, similar to the last one with events, there's a few more settings to work through. So there's a when and where for the event, maximum capacity if we're taking RSVPs. RSVPs can be turned off or on over here. Remember, sometimes you might want to hide the identity of people who have RSVP'd for privacy. Intro, this is where you can put your about text here. Location, this is pretty useful to make sure that you put in a location so people can find your address. Auto response, make sure you send a confirmation. Now a confirmation where it says include mailing event, that will include the date, time, location in it. So if you modify an update and change your event, the auto response will automatically change the details of the auto response. And remember, under advanced, we always want to add a tag. So here we have tag RSVP with, so we might go event, Rego, members, forum, 2024. So that is the brief introduction on the members for the website section. So the only other thing that is sometimes useful to know is this page is now unlisted, so it won't actually show up on the website until I hit publish. And then it will show up only in the top nav if I tick a box here that says include in top nav. And then it will appear in the top nav of the website in the site structure of what it's under. So this page is a subpage of events, so it will appear underneath that. So to find the link for the URL, the website, it's always showing up here at the top. So if I open this in a new browser, I'll be able to see the public page that's now shareable. And because I published it under events, it will appear there as a drop down. So let's go over to the people section now. So in the people section of the dashboard, you'll be able to see all the people who have signed up or registered through your website. Over here, I've got 33 people in my database. And it shows a list of people like this, their names, and these little yellow boxes here are the tags that they've received when they've signed up through things on the website. So this example here, Yogi Bear, you can see he's signed up. He's got membership for 2022, membership for 2023. He's news subscribed. He's a volunteer in 2023 and also renewed volunteering in 2024. And that's the basics what you can see on a profile. But if I click on their name, it will also show a bit more information and opens up the full profile. So now under Yogi Bear, we can see a dashboard. And if I scroll down here, it will show a timeline of all interactions with this profile. So you can see right at the bottom is where Yogi Bear came from. And it was imported from a list called Demo Volunteer Calling List. 2 months ago, I removed the tag Policy 2024 from Yogi Bear. And if there are other events or donations or anything else, it will show up here on the timeline. To edit or modify a profile, there is an edit button here. And you can change first name, last name, opt in them in and out of emails. You can add them as a volunteer. There is a number of things you can change, including their employment or demographics. You can also tick do not call or do not contact period if someone has opted out of your campaign, but you still want to keep a record of that interaction. Back on the dashboard, it's very useful to know that you can log contacts on the dashboard. So if people are calling or run into or speak to volunteers or ask people for a donation, you can click on log contact and you can make a note. So I could say, met for a coffee and asked for a donation. And then down here, there's some notes so that you can run some, you can measure how many face-to-face meetings you might have had in a time period. You can also do some other things like log them onto paths, which we won't go through, but paths are like a journey that you can take people through on onboarding or engagement. And let's log that contact. And now on the timeline, you'll see that there was a contact logged, and you can show more and see the note of that. Usually on this timeline, it's pretty rough time, so it says 2 months ago, but if you hover over any of these, you'll get the exact date and time that it was logged. So there's the date and time of that interaction. Another useful thing that you can do is you can email people one-to-one. So this can be a good way of managing incoming emails or responding to contact or feedback forms, because other people on your team will be able to see that that's been replied to and what the response was. So under email, you select your outgoing email. You can add a subject line. Thank you for your donation. You can attach files, which can be useful for membership forms or volunteering agreements. And then you can make a note. You can write your email. Emails are plain text in this email sender, so you cannot have signature blocks, but you can have a plain text signature block that you might paste in regularly. Thank you for the coffee and donation of 1 honey jar. Danny for the Gravity donation team. And again, you can log these to paths, which we won't look at right now. So if I hit send email, it will also log that to the timeline. So a copy of that email and what was said will be attached to the timeline. Let me try that. There we go. So there is an email there attached to that profile. So we can also, up in the top right of the people section, you can search for people. And you can also search using this filter tool. So if I select this filter tool, you can do a search for, say, tags. So let's select tags, multiple tags, and we'll search for, let's see what we've got: donation tags and membership tags. So let's say right now this filter is saying match all of this criteria with any of these tags. So if I search for that, it will find people that have the donor tag and the membership tag, or the membership tag. If I change that to all, it will now find people that only have both. And if I change that to none, it will not now find people that have neither of those. So it's currently switched to single person view. There's a little drop down here. So if you can't see your list of people, make sure you change that to list view. And there we go. We've now got the 3 people who don't have either of those tags. And what we can do with these results is I can either save this filter, which means I've got a dynamic filter that I can email and find at any point. So I might try that. So this is non-donors 2024, non-members 2023. Might put an end in there. So now that filter is saved and it's dynamic. So if new donors come in or new members from 2023 are tagged, it will adjust and find the correct people. So the other option you can do is over here on the right is an actions drop down once you've created a filter. And with these actions, you can export them, which is a commonly asked question is how do I find and export people? So let's do a search for our volunteers. We'll go filter and find people tagged with volunteer 2024 filter. Again, we want all of the tags. I've got to make sure I flip that. So there's 31 people. So now over here on the right, I can go actions, export them. So I could have the details exported. But there's often no reason to take the people out of NationBuilder. So if I needed to email or contact all of these, I could add them all to a list. So let me do this. And I'll add all to list. And I'll say volunteers 2024 call list August. So that means I'm going to call these people. I want to call all 31 of them. So let's create that list. Add them all to the list. Now down here you'll see people are being added to volunteers 2024 list. And once this little button says it's completed, I can now click on that list and it opens up the list. Now the benefit of making a list over a filter is that you can do a number of things on a list that you can't do on a filter, like batch update people. You can also switch to call view. And a call view will give you a list of all the people on that list with their phone number visible and the log call button easily accessible. Setting up a call list like this is a good way to ask volunteers to call a number of people. So if we wanted to call these 33 people, a call list like this would be easy to work through. It's worth noting that a call list usually has a button log call and remove from list. So this list is usually something you use once. So you work your way through it and complete it. You can also do a batch update. So say we needed to add or remove a tag from a bunch of people, we could go batch update and we could update some of these are the settings in their profile, or we can add a tag. So actions, add a tag. You can select which tag to add or remove a tag. So we could make a list of people who attended an event and then we could update and add a tag for events 2024 and update all 31 people with that tag if they had attended something. We can also, on a call list, we can log contacts. So say they all did attend a face-to-face meeting. We could go method face-to-face. All these volunteers came to a training session in the park on August 2024. And let's log that contact. And there we go. So that's a batch update. Now the last section of what we'll go through today is the communication tab. So now that we've created some filters and some lists, under the communication tab is an easy way for us to send emails to those large groups of people. So you can see on the communication tab, there is a dashboard of activity. And most recently, we sent a one-on-one email to Yogi Bear saying thank you for your donation. And you can see that email. It will show incoming and outgoing emails under the dashboard. Under the email setting, we can see a list of all previously set up emails, and it will show the name of the email, how many people it was sent to, the open rate, the click-through rate, if it led to any donations or if it led to any unsubscribes. You can also, once again, search emails over in the top right, or you can click New Email Blast and we can start a new email. So I'll select New Email Blast. So under New Email Blast, there's 5 steps basically before it will send them out. And we go to the first step, which is selecting a theme. So under stock themes here, you'll have a variety of drag and drop email themes that you can select from. So all of these themes are basically drag and drop templates. We have event as default. You also should have custom themes. So custom themes are ones that have been set up and used previously by people in your nation. If you have a custom newsletter or a template, it would probably appear under custom themes. So I'll go with event for now. And if I click the continue button, it takes me to the next step, which is settings. So I will say volunteer training session invite. So the name is internal and the recipients will not see the name of this email. This is for our team to know. The slug is automatically copied from the name. You can add more description if you want to put more detail in, or you can leave it blank. The from, you can change that here. So I can say it's from Danny Adams, click gravity. Subject line, this is visible to the recipients. So we could say, please join our training session next week. And then preview text will show up in some programs like Outlook. We can leave that blank as well. Let's go create email blast. And so now is where we work on the content of the email. So over here on the right hand side is the editing tool, and you can drag and drop different tools in this drag and drop feed setup. So I can add a little button. You can also, when you have an item selected, so the button selected over here on the right, it will show what can be changed on it. So the bottom text can be register now, and the button URL we can put in here. So let's go to that members forum that I set up earlier, and I'll copy that, paste it into the button URL, and always remember to hit save and update preview. Then if I select other areas of this text, double click on them, it will bring up then change the editor over here on the right. I can also select it here and drag and move things up and down and around. By selecting like an image, this image file, I can select and change the images. And image alt text is usually useful for accessibility to ensure people who may have a screen reader that they have an image description. A child races Mario in a cartoon background. Save and update preview. Over here on the left, you can preview it on mobile view and desktop view, and plain text view. The over here on the right, you can manage files. It's important to know that if you need to upload an attachment, so say we needed to upload a PDF, that you can upload a PDF attachment. What that does is it creates a link, a hyperlink to this file that you then need to add a link in your email to this file. So if I right click this and say copy link address, I now have the URL for the PDF I've uploaded, but I would now need to put in a button for people to access it, or a link. So here in our text, let me put in a link to our form. Please complete this registration form before our training session. Now I need to hyperlink it. So I might select that text, click the link button, and then I can now paste that URL that I copied before. So because I uploaded it, it has a URL that now says assets.nationbuilder.com/clickgravity.dev. It's quite a long attachment, so I do want to make sure that link is quite a long hidden. And then the target is a new window is usually the best way to do it, so that it opens up the PDF in a new window. So if I save that, it appears over here on the left, and I can preview it. It's not letting me test it, but I can, over here on the right, you can say in the middle, you can go send test email, and I can send a test email to myself to check that all the links work. So I'll just paste that link in here, and you can see it will open up the PDF that I attached. So the next step is recipients. So we'll go save and continue. And in here you can choose a list. So previously in that last section, we created some lists like the volunteers call list. Update that. Or you can do a tag. So we already know that we've looked at a lot of the tags, that we have a tag that's like called volunteers 2024. So I could just email people with the tag. Or if I wanted to be more sophisticated, I can select one of the filters that we generated and saved. So this was the filter we did in that last section, non-donors 2024 and non-members. Update that, and we now have the list. It may not mail to all of them because one person doesn't have any email addresses or have opted out. So using a filter or the tags is a dynamic way of choosing your recipients, and it will update to have the latest list of recipients. And then you can review and send some test emails or check how it looks, and then you can hit the send email button. There is one other format of emails. So if we have a look at like one of these ones that I was working on earlier, there is some more simple themes. So let's go custom themes, and we switch to the classic HTML newsletter. So this is a simple theme, change themes. And now the difference between this classic HTML editor is, unlike the drag and drop one, you will just have one block of text in the middle. And this is often what some of the more people who have been using NationBuilder for a while, we use this format. So over here on the left is your newsletter layout, and over here on your right, there's just one block of contents. So the big difference with this one is there's a few different options in here. So under add, we can now add a smart field, and under the smart field, you can add all of the details from NationBuilder can be used like a mail merge in Word. So you can use full name or friend. That will use their name, or friend if they don't have their full name or don't have any name. So And you could say things like smart field. Say we knew that we had their employer, which might be their organization. We could say, as a representative of employer, we'd like to invite you to our members forum or another representative from your team. You can also add things like a horizontal line. You can add images. So like we did earlier, let's insert an image. It's always very important when you insert an image to make sure that in the dimensions, the best thing to do is delete these pixels, and to make sure that it's responsive for mobile, always put in a percentage instead. This is the width, and you can leave the height blank. So if you put in a percentage like 100% there, or 90%, and then hit OK, this image will now be responsive. So now if I select mobile, you'll see that the image shrinks and grows. It's a very important thing. If your images are breaking or stretching your email, it's usually because you haven't put in a percentage there. Under add, we can also do a button. So here we can do a button saying register now. Let's grab this URL, put it in there, and we can change the color of the button or use a hexadecimal value, and then put that in and hit register now. Recipients, the same as previously. You can choose a filter or a tag or a list. Update recipients, review and send, and you're ready to send out your email. Thanks so much. That's enough for today. I was trying to keep it to under 30 minutes, but I've gone a little bit over. One other thing is that if you need support or you need more help with NationBuilder, if you do a Google search, you'll usually find an article. So here we go on NationBuilder support. These are the ones you want to look for. Setting up an event. So here we go on the NationBuilder support. There's an article on setting up an event. There's screenshots, where to start, event settings. If you need any further help, please go through the Google searches to NationBuilder support. Will let me know. My contact is dan@clickgravity.com.au. Thank you.